Thank you so much for joining us. I am joined by a wonderful team right here that we are going to be having a conversation on advocacy teams on campuses, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful conversation. So I'm going to invite Benjamin to introduce himself and to introduce his team.
Thank you so much. My name is Benjamin Baya, and this is Advocacy Committee, Christian Union Technical University of Kenya. I have my friends here. We have Desmond Owino, there's Yvonne David, and then we have Jesse Nganga and Luis Diwana. In absentia is Adams Albert.
So you are a committee of 6 people?
Yeah, a committee of 6 people.
All right. Now I want you to tell us more about how you started, what this team is about, and what you have been doing.
Yeah, so the committee, the team advocacy committee started back in 2019. So basically we're just mandated to stand up for students within the university and also to engage in the socio-economic and political activities within the university. So we mainly advocate for social justice within the university and speaking out for students. Yes, sir.
Wow, thank you so much. I remember that the starting of the team, when we started this is like the oldest advocacy team, and you have been very passionate and very intentional about the growth of the team. And I would like to hear, I know there are a number of things that you have focused on and advocated for, and maybe you can tell us what are those issues. What have you done? What have you achieved? What have you not achieved? So how has that journey been, and what are the issues that you have actually advocated for?
Yeah, we have advocated for several issues, not so many, but since 2019 we have advocated for issues like upholding integrity in exams. We had administration in the Christian Union and also encourage to encourage students to uphold integrity in exams. We did that through a skit. And also I have been engaged also in the electoral board, the TUK electoral board, just in vetting the candidates for the TUK position, those who are vying for the TUK position, the year 2020-2021. I was co-opted as a member in the TUK electoral board with the Dean of Students, just to help in seeing fair elections. Yes, sir. And other issues that we have been advocating for, like prices in the university, fair prices and cyber prices and food prices.
We've also been part of the Nezamani campaign. That is the most recent campaign that we've taken part in, where we are championing and encouraging students in our institution and in the Christian Union especially to uphold integrity and even peace, to maintain peace as we are heading to the elections period.
Thank you so much. I think I would like to hear more details because I am very keen, and I know especially the 2 issues. The one you raised about the students' body not following the right procedures, and you wrote to the dean, that whole process. You can tell us more about it. And also the food prices. I know you had a questionnaire that you're feeding, you're collecting data. So just tell us more details about especially those 2 things.
Okay, thank you. So about the electoral board, so we had the issues of, we had candidates, those who are vying, and they are not qualified. And earlier, the previous years in the university, we have been having students vying for position while they are in their final years, which is against the constitution. So what we did, we wrote first to the dean of students. We organized a meeting and we met him. So we had a chat just to raise our issues and the concerns that we had, because we have been having like leaders who are out of campus or they have finished their studies, but they're still in their leadership or their leadership position. The period has not ended. So when we met the dean of students, he listened to us and we talked. And at that point, that's when now he co-opted me into the electoral board, just to help in overseeing that the elections are fair and just.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you actually wrote a letter to the Dean of Students highlighting those issues.
Yes.
And then he was able to call you and ask you to be part of the team.
Yeah.
All right.
Through a memo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything like a constitutional change to ensure that that is upheld even after you leave?
Yes, no, not really a constitutional change, but of course the constitution is currently under review, under changes. But at that moment we had a policy just to help to ensure that the constitution is followed. Yeah, the constitution regarding the election is followed accurately. So what the electoral board did just to emphasize in the departments not to approve anyone to vie for a post while in their final year of study in the university.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, are you planning to engage in the constitutional review of the students' union now that that's an issue you had raised?
Okay, what basically we did, of course, the constitution actually it states clearly, but again, there's the policies, the procedures to follow. Because now, for a person to vie for a position in the SATUK, they have to go under several review, like in the departmental reviews. So we had problems in the department. They were like approving candidates who are in their final years. So now in the electoral board, there were not like details of who the student, which year they are in. Because now once the department has approved, the electoral board just oversees and ensures that whatever the department has said, if they say this student has failed in an exam, it is against the constitution, the electoral board just ensures that the constitution is followed at that particular point. Yeah, so what happened at the moment I was co-opted in, we had to enforce or to come up with a procedure that was actually forcing the department not to approve those students who are in their final years. So once they are in once it reaches the electoral board, they will be able to be disapproved now because they are in their final year already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. You want to add something?
I just wanted to add the issue he is raising. There are issues that have been considered in the constitutional review because I've been privileged to be a part of the committee. So those issues are actually being looked into in depth, like that process of what the qualifications are for people who are vying, and as well as who can be able to go through those qualification processes. They are all being revised, and that draft is coming out in a few weeks or so. So it's been looked at issues to do with different roles of different people in SATUK, who can be what, because right now we are transitioning into term system. So even the transition from from semester to term, and how long people can be able to serve in those different positions are being looked at.
Amazing. It's exciting to hear that you're part of the team. So ensure that our interests are taken care of, or rather the interest of the students. That's most important. So I want also maybe you to elaborate on the issue of the meals, how that came about, why it was important, and yeah, the process that you actually took.
When it comes to the meals, we as a committee, the initial step we took was to have a survey, to have students giving us a feedback of what the different prices, and not just not just focusing on the meals, but as much as the services that are offered in, especially in the student center, services to do with printing, photocopying, and things like that. So we had a survey, an online survey where students actually, give their inputs and their comments as to the different issues they were facing. So we had people who were complaining about the prices being high, about more than half of the percentage of the respondents we had complained about the prices, and there were a little percent of them that said they were okay and things like that. But we had a mixed view, and what we did as a result of that survey was to call a meeting with the SATUK officials. Because what happens in the university is that side of the university is actually controlled by officials of SATUK. So we called a meeting, especially with the president, since he's the commander-in-chief on court. He came to, we also called a meeting with the Secretary General. So we had those two people in separate meetings where we put forth to them that this is the issue and these are the responses we've gotten and these are our proposals. I remember us actually proposing, because they issued of chapati and beans, a meal that was sold at 70. We were proposing that it comes to 50. And that those proposals were actually worked on. And for a period of maybe a semester or two, they actually went by those different proposals. The only reason why it's changed is because of the economy and the hike in prices and things like that. But they actually carried out those proposals and suggestions that we gave to them.
Wow, wow, that's exciting to hear, and it's very encouraging, and also to see the contribution that students can make. I don't know whether there's anyone else who wants to speak or to add to what she said.
Okay, I just wanted to add and say that about the food prices, we also advocated that the main canteen be open for students and the food be sold there at lower prices compared to the ones being sold at the student center. Generally, we advocated that we have something like a mess, although the school admin has not considered that, but we are still pushing for and hoping that they will put it into consideration and at least we have better prices at the main canteen.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And of course, the background of this is that there used to be very many vibandas around, and then they were brought down after people went home for COVID. So you come, and then the place you used to go chomewa, hakuna. So you were able to see that need, but also to realize that many students were suffering, others were going without food for a whole day, and just seeing that need and taking action is very inspiring in itself. And I would like maybe for you two guys to tell me or to tell us what inspires you, like what makes you do what you do, or why are you in this committee and not in a different one, or when you were asked to serve in this committee, why did you say yes? Why are you still part of it? So what really inspires you?
Okay, I can say that one thing that inspires me personally so much is to see a student happy, smiling, and enjoying life at the Technical University of Kenya. And it's always painful when you walk around and see students stressed up and passing through a lot that they can't fight on their own. So as a committee and I as an individual, you always, what inspires us is to make sure that students are happy wherever they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can also add on that. For me, I'm also a student, and the knowledge of what students really go through, yeah. Sometimes interacting with your friends and getting to know that what is happening around, what is happening around in the institution, it's really affecting them, because sometimes you would realize that people would just come from school, from home to school, having not taken anything, with the hope that maybe someone would come and partake from the vibandas that were there. Now they have been demolished. What then happens of them? And so what inspires me is one, standing for what is right, and speaking for the people who can't get up, or rather are not in an opportunity to air out what they would love to express themselves. And also rising against any kind of oppression. And so and you see, that is what actually the word advocates. The book of Isaiah 1:17, I think in the book of Micah 1:6, when God is saying that we ought to stand for justice and to stand for what is right. And so it is the right of students for them to access meals and to access them at affordable prices. And so we know that it is a desire of God that even the service providers, they don't oppress students, but they also offer their services in affordable prices. So that inspires me, and just seeing response and God opening doors, because for sure what my colleague said, it was a door opened by God that after us doing a survey and God causing us to find favor in the eyes of the TUK leaders and having quite a number of sittings with them and discussing this and seeing it implemented, that was quite a joy. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else who wants to share what inspires them?
Yeah, personally, because just as my friends have said, what inspires me personally is just seeing the equality in everyone, that everyone enjoys the rights, basic rights, and everyone is happy in a community. Just fighting for justice inspires me each and every day. Uh, what actually makes me to advocate for is that when I see people being oppressed, and when I see that the rights of people are not people are not receiving their rights or enjoying their rights in a community, it just inspires me to speak out for them, just to stand up in that moment and help someone enjoy the rights. I mean, like anybody else in a community. So it inspires me just seeing equality, that people are equal, that everyone is enjoying the rights that they're supposed to enjoy each and every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For me, what inspires me is the fact that we are privileged to be a part of solutions. And not just a part of the solutions, but sitting with people who are given this role of finding the solutions. Because the fact that as a committee, individually, we're able to sit with the dean, we're able to sit with TUK leaders, we're able to sit with people who are tasked with these different responsibilities and share what the issues the students are going through, sharing what our colleagues are having problems with. For me, that's a big privilege, and that inspires me a lot. Because we're building confidence, not just with our colleagues and classmates, but building confidence with the TUK and the leadership as a whole. Because the fact that we're able to carry out an initiative, for example, maybe a survey, maybe a one-on-one chat, and colleagues, students, other students are able to actually tell us and confide in us and say, these are the issues. This is what's affecting me as a person. This is what's affecting my class. This is what's affecting our school. And then we're able to take those very complaints and situations to the people that have been tasked with the responsibility to actually provide solutions. For me, that's inspiring. That's very inspiring, and that's one of the things that will push me any day to be a part of the advocacy committee, because it's giving you that privilege, and it's also being able to allow us to sit in these meetings and find solutions that are lasting and impactful. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I know every journey, and because also this is like a pioneering engagement, it comes with its own share of challenges. So what are some of the challenges that you have experienced as a team, or as you try to do the ministry that you do?
One of the challenges that we have experienced is the aspect of mobilizing, reaching out to very many students. Like for instance, in the case when we were carrying out the survey for the food prices and the cyber prices, we did not actually meet the target, which we had a target of reaching to about 1,000 students, which we were not able to. Because so the challenge mainly is just being able to mobilize students, to come up and express themselves. But that has been quite a challenge. Reaching out to as many students as possible, having in mind the large number of students we have in the university. Yeah.
Your expectation is that watu watachangamkia hii story and they are going to be very responsive. Yeah, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, that hasn't been the case.
All right.
Yeah.
I think maybe a small challenge at first maybe would be how to get through to the TUK leadership and even the school administration. But I think it has not been that much of a challenge. God has opened doors for us. We have been able to talk to them. Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. Any other challenge? Do you feel like, and I think I had asked the team here, or when we were having a conversation, do you feel like, especially the CEO here is big, do you feel like people understand what you do? Do you feel like people understand your mandate, or even this team, what you do, the theological aspect of it? People are not wondering, we should just evangelize, and leave these worldly things down here. So have you experienced that challenge? What is your feeling about how the CU has embraced the team?
I think we have faced the challenge. There's a time we organized a training, and it was especially for the CU members, and the turn up was not that good. Yeah, so I think it has not yet sunk very well about our role, and even not even us as a committee, but even us as Christians. Yeah, I think there's work to do in letting or people understanding that God, in as much as we should go for evangelism, God also places a very high value on social justice, on championing for people's rights, that God has put us in TUK for a reason. Yeah, not just to see it, and it is good to evangelize, but it is even, I think, Christ fed people before he taught them the gospel. So I think it is upon us as Christians to first even meet the needs of people, where we can go through as an advocacy committee, we go there, and then now we can continue spreading the gospel.
So, just to add on what Ivona said, I think the place of advocacy and social transformation is an area that has not really been embraced well in the body of Christ, but also even in the Christian Union. But I think there requires much to be done on it. Members need to be enlightened about it. Yeah, because indeed it has been a challenge. It has been a challenge sharing with people, yet they don't really understand. Yeah, what it entails. What is this advocacy that you guys are talking about? Yeah, so maybe as a recommendation again, I think as a team we really need to look for ways to create awareness about it and enlighten people more about it, so that they may understand why is it necessary, why is it important, why is it good as us as Christians to engage in these matters. So yeah, I think it's something that we need to work on.
Thank you. What have you gained as an individual or as a Christian? What has this being part of this team and this work? What have you learned? What have you? Do you feel you have grown as a person? What do you feel it has done, or you have gained from being part of this team and the work that you have done?
Yeah, personally, I really thank the Christian Union for just allowing me to be in this committee. It has really helped me to grow. It has really helped me to grow. The number of trainings that I have gone through, I have learned a lot. I have learned how to negotiate with the authorities, to talk with the authorities. That's in ways of advocating, how to go about advocating. Initially, I didn't have that clear way of how you're having an issue, but how do we go about it? How do we even meet the Vice Chancellor and just even have a talk about this, and this is happening in the Christian Union or in the university. But through advocacy and through the trainings that I have personally go through, I have learned a lot. Yeah, I have really grown that.
I think for me, what I've learned first and foremost is to appreciate the CU for the opportunity to serve in the committee. It's a rare opportunity, and it doesn't just come by often. And then in that process of being in the committee, couple of things I've learned, but just to name a few, is the place of networking to be able to lead a certain. Because as a committee, we can't do it alone. We are students as well, but we can just do more than our powers can limit us to do. So the place of networking with fellow students, the place of networking with the leaders, the place of networking with the administration to be able to find solutions to common problems. For me, that has really stood out. And also the place of actually understanding the issues. Because someone could tell you, maybe in our class there's X, Y, and Z problem. But being able to actually understand, is that really a problem that we need to focus on? or this is something that we can solve long term, or is this an issue we can solve short term? What are the people that are involved in this? What are the people we need to contact in this? So for me, it's just being able to actually understand, look at the issues and being able to understand it, not just on face value, but understand it in a way to find better solutions. So it's networking, it's understanding issues that affect us, and it's also the place of negotiation, because it plays a key role in whatever we do as a committee and individually. I remember in one of the training sessions we were told about how very important negotiation is in finding solutions to a problem. We could go the best route of meeting the appropriate authorities, but if we don't put forth the issues in the right way, the issues won't get solved. So it's being able to negotiate, come to a conclusion, have dialogues, and meet the right people and solve the issues. And at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody involved. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to add and say that on top of what my brother and sister have said, I personally have gained satisfaction when I see students satisfied with whatever we have championed for as a committee. And another thing, I have
That sounds like
managed
it's a whole school
to
you
be
have been to.
courageous
Yeah.
enough in addressing
You
issues
wanted
that
to.
affects people, like standing up and speaking without fear at all. Like before I joined advocacy committee, even if I could see something wrong in the society, I used to keep quiet. But after joining the advocacy committee, I came to learn that even as a Christian, I also have a part to play in ensuring that things go well, in ensuring that we fight for the oppressed and even advocate for the right thing even where we stay. So there has been a lot of changes where yeah, within my sphere or my circle, and I really thank God for that.
Wow, thank you so much. How has the working with administration been? Sometimes there is always the feeling, oh, the administration is this and this way. What has your experience been?
First, in the initial stages, there is a feeling of, are these people going to be welcome to us? Are they going to welcome us, and are they going to give us an ear? But I thank God because indeed God has really shown favor unto us. Allow me to also the leadership of the students, also part of them, because it's something that I didn't see really easy in the beginning when we were saying that indeed we are going to do a survey and start engaging the student leadership. But indeed, the favor of the Lord has been upon us, and God has given us a smooth way and an easy way to get along with them. And at the end of it all, we have seen fruitfulness. Also, again, getting to engage some offices like the office of the dean, indeed, it has been the favor of the Lord, and we have not faced rejection. Yeah, of course, some challenges here and there before you reach them, but God has always opened a door, and it has been a joy. I think I also wanted to say something regarding what I've learned. Maybe I can just say it. I've learned not just to focus on myself and also to think about others. How is this going to affect others? Yeah, looking unto the welfare of others, and also the issues that other people face. I think the other thing is how, as a Christian, I can engage in some matters and some issues that affect the society. Yeah, some of them being like the national politics. How can we engage into them as Christians? Yeah, and I think from the Eneza Amani campaign, I've gotten to learn a lot, and how us as Christians that indeed we're supposed to be ambassadors of peace, and also to indeed encourage each other that indeed we are also part of our country and we're supposed to take part in the elections that are going on. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just to add on the part of working with the administration, I remember at first when we were writing to the Dean of Students, I think I had some fears on how he's going to respond, But I really thank God, just like my brother says, just favor of the Lord. I mean, actually the Dean was so happy. just to realize there's a team in the Christian Union that just is concerned about what is going on. So actually he just listened to us and was very happy, and in fact he encouraged us to just continue advocating, I mean just standing up for students in the university. So we really thank God. I mean he has been opening ways of us just engaging us with the administrator. It has not been that difficult, we cannot complain. Yeah.
Wow, that's really good to hear. And I think it's also an encouragement, yeah, that sometimes you just need to take that action of faith and, go knock doors. I personally believe that my work is to knock, and it is God who opens the door. But you can never know whether that door will open until you knock it. One of the things that we believe is that the Christian Union is very strategic in advocating for the issues that are affecting students, but it's also because we want to raise responsible citizens, who are able to stand up and go out there and stand up for the injustices in their society, communities, and all that. And it's very good to hear, like they're saying, I have, my circle has changed because of the things that I have learned. And that's really our desire and our goal, that as we go through this, we always believe that you want to impact the church and the society. And we believe that once you go out there, you will be so aware about the issues, and also actually looking at your faith and believing that it should respond to those social injustices and social issues. So what would you tell other Christian unions? We are still trying to champion for various CUs to take up this, to start their own advocacy teams and to engage issues on campus. So what would you tell those Christian unions or other students as a way of encouraging them and challenging them to take up?
One, I think I would say it's a joy. It's really a joy to see the fruit of what we've been doing. Yeah, and even if we do not see them in full measure right now, maybe when we leave campus, maybe it will become stronger and better. So I think what we'd love to tell other CUs that they should take that step of faith. Yeah, God is able to open doors for them, just as He has opened for us in the administration, and to even get our issues out there and even listened to. That they have a role also as Christian unions that has been put on them by God to even champion for issues in their campuses. That we are supposed to be the light of the world. Wherever we are in our universities, let us be the light. So yeah, to take that step of faith, to if they cannot do it as a group, let them do it individually. Wherever you are as an individual, you can always do something that someone else has not yet done.
Allow me also to reiterate to what Yvonne has said, that indeed this is something that really needs to be in each and every institution. By the way, one of the initiatives that is still very young in this team is creating a platform whereby students can anonymously share some of the injustices they face in the institution, and then from our end we can be able to follow it up and look for ways to help them. And you realize that in the university so much happen. Yeah, so much happen. People go through a lot. Issues to do with injustices, talk of corruption, talk of sometimes harassment, yeah, and all those, and people are going through them, but they are silent about it. So in the CU and even in the Christian circles, there needs to have a team, or there needs to be a people who will stand up and stand out on behalf of the people who can be able to really come and say this is what we are facing, and give them a platform to express themselves, and look for ways to help them, because I believe that is what God has called us to do, yeah, to advocate justice and to advocate the right way of doing things. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I saw, what you're working on the platform. I think that's very exciting. Yeah, and I pray that God will continue to lead you and to guide you as you continue to consolidate your efforts. Yeah, any parting shot?
Yeah, thank you so much. Just even to tell the other CUs just to take that step of faith and start. I believe each and every Christian, each and every believer, we have all been called to speak against the injustices in the society. Because I'm imagining all the believers do not speak against all the just and the sad. Then who is going to stand up and speak for those people who are being oppressed? Then who is going to speak against the evil in the society? It is us who are saved to stand in the position. It is us who are saved to speak for the people who are being oppressed. I mean, for the people who cannot speak for themselves. It is us who are saved, but the Lord Jesus Christ to lead the society in the right manner, and that is advocating for social justice. Yeah, thank you so much.
As a party in short, what I would say is advocacy should be a way of life for every person. Whether we are Christians, whatever we are, advocacy should be a way of life. Because it gives us an opportunity to see life from the other person's perspective and being able to find solutions that not just satisfies them, but satisfy us included and makes a wholesome society for each of us. So we all should get involved. If it's not in our circles, we should establish it. If it's not in our institutions, we should ensure that it gets established. And especially as Christians in these different institutions, like echoing what Yvonne had said, we've been called to be the salt and the light of the world. So we should take it up as a personal initiative to ensure that we all have a conducive environment. We all are in a space where, even if it's not preaching the word in holding up our Bibles and preaching the word, but we are preaching it in the different acts that we do, and ensuring that people that are in our circles, people that are in these institutions with us, are actually seeing impacts of the kind of Christians that we are. And I feel like advocacy is one of the platforms that gives us that opportunity to express our Christianity, to express our values, to express our morals, so that it doesn't just, it's not an instance of just me, but it's an instance of all of us involved, the people around here. What's happening? What can we do? How can we find these different solutions? Personally, that's one thing. That would be something, that a message that I would send out to everybody. Let's take up advocacy. Let's make it our own. There was a slogan back home that would say, this is, take it as your own, and it's not the people's thing. So advocacy, it's our thing and not just the people's thing. Even if you're a citizen, you're a Christian, you're a non-Christian, let it be our thing, because it gives us an opportunity to find solutions to problems that we all are facing. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I just want to conclude and say that the Bible wants us as Christians to do what is right and just before Him. That is what God intends of us. And if we can't, and if we are doing what is right and just before Him, we must also ensure that others do it, others that are close to us or wherever we are, it is done. Whatever is right and just. And I can draw an example in the Bible, the life of Job. Job was a man who was doing what is right and just before God, and when he was passing through a tribulation, he used to remind God on how he used to stand with the oppressed, he used to fight for the fatherless, the widows. He used to stand with the cases of foreigners in court, and God was happy about it. So even as Christians, let us not be afraid. Let us do what is just and right, and it will never go unrewarded. There must be a reward at the end. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. It's been such a joy to have you. Keep up the good work. You are such an inspiration to me and to many other people out here. Yeah, and there is so much hope for our nation because of people like you. So thank you. Yeah, God bless you.